Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I want to talk to you guys about our most important charts and why I believe that we're about to see a major breakout out of these lows. You guys already know I'm as leveraged as I possibly can because all of the bears are about to eat the dust when we go launching into new all-time highs, and as I start taking profits on millions of dollars inside the markets. I want you guys to ultimately make millions with me, but the only way that we make millions together is whenever we're tasting the sweet tears of bears. So for today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys why we're all about to make a bunch of money in the crypto markets, why the bears are about to be screwed, and how you guys can ultimately capitalize in the biggest way possible over the next couple months. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server or download my free ebook. Links are going to be provided for you in the description to go ahead and join both. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so we're going to be talking about a couple major things with Bitcoin, and then I'm going to be finishing up this video by giving you guys a couple really good NFT picks because these are going to be some that are just going to blow up in value. And so if you guys have a little bit of money that you're looking to throw away at the NFT market, this is going to be a great opportunity for those that are looking in. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about today with Bitcoin is covering some of the stuff from our last update in Friday, because we really needed to watch a couple major charts to know what is ultimately going to be taking place for us. Now, if you guys notice over here, this was our SPX chart that we were watching in Friday's video. And during Friday's video, we closed right there. So we hadn't made a confirmed breakout of that resistance, but it looked like we were getting some consolidation that could lead to an inverse head and shoulder. Now, what's really interesting is we opened the day and we ended up dropping back down to support at about 3,986. But we immediately got bought back up. And so we didn't even come all the way back down to retest this green level, which I was watching for. We maintained even more bullish support, and now we're actually at that resistance. Now, this looks like it's going to break out, but we haven't got anything confirmed. This could still reject as it stands right now, and we could fall back below this. But until we get a confirmed breakout, a big move up, retest this, and then keep going, that's when we're going to know the bottom is in, right? We need to see the stock market bottom if, in fact, Bitcoin is also going to bottom. And what I was telling you guys with, I thought that it was going to be pretty apparent that we'd be bottoming because of the massive bullish divergence that we've had. We have hidden bullish divergence, and we have bullish divergence on the daily. And that's what I think is the most important thing to consider here. We had a massive lower low in price. You know, you're probably talking 10, 15%. Okay, not nearly that big. So it's only 8%. I'm thinking in crypto terms, but still an 8% drop in the stock market's a pretty big lower low. And we've maintained support throughout this period of time, and now we're getting the inverse head and shoulder right at that major support. So for me, I mean, I think the bottom's going to be in. I was telling you guys last week why I thought that we'd be breaking out of these lows. You know, as it stands right now, it's looking bullish, so we're just going to continue to watch from there. But when it comes to Bitcoin, ultimately Bitcoin's going to lag behind the stock market slightly. The stock market's going to lead. It's going to really initiate the breakout, and it might even outperform Bitcoin in the short term as, you know, the stock market ultimately regains confidence and more people jump back into new positions. But Bitcoin isn't far behind, guys. I really believe that this was our cycle low. Historically, when we look at a larger time frame, let's go to the 3-day time frame. When we're looking at volume spikes to this extent, we can look at a number of different reversal points inside the market as, you know, these major breakouts in the volume. Whether it was a bullish reversal, whether it was a bearish reversal, it doesn't necessarily matter. What we see here is a very clear pattern where every time we have a massive volume breakout, it signifies the bottom of the trend. And I mean, what we just saw was one of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the entire market completely go to zero, and they sold 80,000 Bitcoin on the open market. That's why we saw such an increased sell pressure throughout this period. It was amplified because of the Terra Foundation of LFG they were literally dumping all of their Bitcoin reserves on the market, which ultimately tallied 80,000 Bitcoin. They only have a little over 300 Bitcoin left in those reserves. They've got other currencies in their reserves, but as far as their Bitcoin holdings, they literally liquidated 80,000 Bitcoin on this sell-off, and they had to market sell it because they were trying to regain their peg of UST. When that happens, it's just more things that happen at capitulation. You usually have a big sort of event that takes place, and the truth of the matter is, the top 10 cryptocurrency that literally lost $42 billion in market cap sold and never once closed below our support. So, the people that are bearish right now, I'm just here to tell you, you're going to miss out on an amazing opportunity. The people that have been laughing about the fact that I've gotten so leveraged throughout this period, ultimately I'm laughing because I've got a really low Bitcoin position now. And I've got a bunch of new altcoins I've accumulated, and I've got a bunch of new NFTs I've accumulated. And so I'm honestly really excited, guys. I want everybody else to ultimately have the conviction to buy the dip, because this is ultimately where we make all the money. You don't make riches by buying the top or buying late into the rally. That's when all the hype's already gone. I made most of my money by simply accumulating a few different altcoins throughout this period. Some of these altcoins I bought throughout this April-May timeframe, they literally turned into 100x and 200x investments. I bought Terra Luna throughout that period of time. Sold the majority at 25 and 45x, but at the end of the day, any profit is going to be good, and I'm very thankful with a 20x return. Even if a crypto goes 200x and I might miss out on some of those gains, I'm very thankful for the ability to buy in the dip, pretty much buy at a really early point to where there's not a whole lot of risk, because the market usually starts taking off pretty quick. And so really I'm not in any sort of risky investment. When you take the time to accumulate at support, usually when you buy support, it instantly bounces, right? Even if you had to wait a month throughout this period of time. Let's say you bought 30K. It's like right here. If you would have bought 30K, you wouldn't have worried throughout this period because we never once broke below. But the second that we decided that we were bullish again, we instantly pumped into new all-time highs. This isn't going to be any different. People are going to sit here and say, oh, this is just a lower high. This is a bull trap before we do this and go to zero. But that's just not going to be the case, guys. I'm telling you right now. This type of volume, one of the major cryptos going completely to zero, manipulated by whales in the market, this is a capitulation event. And with the market in the stocks looking pretty bullish, looking like it's going to reverse, I think there's a lot of things that we can go off of that is signaling the earlier reversal point of this market, which, once again, I wouldn't have the conviction to go so leverage long throughout this dip if I didn't feel like what was coming was going to be life-changing. I haven't really messed with margin hardly at all. I did accumulate some margin positions right here. I bought some Cardano, I bought some Chainlink, and I bought some Ren. And I made really good profit off of all of those, but I'm literally gambling with like $1,000 to $2,000 in a leverage position. It was like almost no leverage, and I was able to earn 6 figures a piece off of many of those trades. Well, really 2 of those trades. The Ren one I actually held too long, and then I got kicked off Binance, so I didn't quite make that big return. But in the same sense, guys, this is kind of the same event where we get this massive capitulation. The volume is stacking up that this is going to be a reversal point. And so, unless you're just 100% guaranteeing there's a bear market, I'm buying. And I think that this is going to bounce. And I think I'm going to be much better off by buying now than I am going to be by selling expecting some bear market. I'm fully 100% on the belief that what we're missing here is our wave 5. And another chart I like to look at is actually our total market cap chart, because with Bitcoin selling off, when we look at this, Bitcoin went quite a bit below support. And so when you were watching this chart, it would have been a very scary time, especially if you aren't somebody that realizes that, even though the market can be below support, it can close back above and turn into wicks. Some people have never been through a massive sell-off. Some of you guys weren't here for COVID during that sell-off. Some of you guys, the first sell-off you've experienced were the ones at the top because you just got in. One of the things that I like to remind people is when Bitcoin has volatility, keep in mind, guys, Bitcoin went quite a bit below support. If we're looking at support, it went like 12% below support. Whereas when we look at the total market cap, it really didn't do that. When we have our lowest low here, it was like 3 or 4% below support. But for the most part, you would just consider this as a close above support. It didn't have that same capitulation. And the reason why is because they literally liquidated 80,000 Bitcoin at market price when this sell-off was occurring. And so you're going to see more volatility in the Bitcoin US dollar chart because there was a literal collapse of one of the biggest cryptos in the market that were liquidating all of their Bitcoin reserves just to cover their own ass. So obviously we're going to have an enhanced selling. But the thing that we need to remember here is when we look at our other charts, being our total market cap, this thing just bounced off support. It's literally off support. It's closing above support. It's looking really solid. And so, I mean, if one of the biggest cryptos in the entire market completely collapsing and them dumping all of their Bitcoin reserves on the open market at support, still couldn't break support, you really think that we're going to be breaking support now all of a sudden? I mean, that's just my thoughts, guys. I really like to make things, I try to make things obvious, because when I look at the chart, for me, it is more obvious than it is, bearish. To me, when I look at this chart, it just screams, buy this right now. It's an opportunity to be rich. And most people aren't doing it. It just blows my freaking mind. Now, let's finish up this video of the analysis. I want to share with you guys some NFT projects still. Let's talk about the US dollar index, because this thing has gotten rejected finally. This is what we wanted to see. Let me remove some of these because it's getting too chaotic. So let's go to the bigger time frame. Remember, guys, what we were watching for was a rejection at this resistance. Over the course of the last 5-6 years, we've rejected off of this level every time we hit it. Now, we have technically got to move above that level. Could this keep going higher? Yes, it could. One of the things that we're looking for on the shorter time frames is the bearish divergence. We do have some bearish divergence that's in here on the RSI. We have a lower high, we have a higher high in price. Keep in mind, with the RSI, it can stay overbought or oversold for longer periods of time. And so this isn't guaranteed by any means, but with us being at resistance, with us now starting to sell off a little bit, if we don't maintain support, probably about let's see what price this is, 103 and a half, 103 and a half. If we can't hold at that level and we start breaking below this and it becomes resistance, that's when I think confirmation is in. But, we could still retest this level and actually go up again. And the top of this cycle, for me, I don't think it's going to be breaking higher than 110. If we do go higher, I think that 109 to 110 is going to be our top. But either way, guys, the stock market bottoming makes me feel like this could be at the topping point, and we do have some bearish divergence forming. Not confirmed by any means, but we need to, just pay attention for these basic things. That's one of the things I was watching for. Whenever we can get a top in the dollar, that's going to signal the reversal point for crypto. And chances are it'll end up just turning into something like this, like it did here, and all of the other times, right? So this is what I'm watching for with the dollar. Now, guys, let's dive into the NFTs. Let's talk about some opportunities here where you guys can make some money. I've made some money. I've already been in NFTs for a while. I know a lot of people aren't, which is why I think it's a good time to get in. So let's talk about it. Alrighty, guys. So I want to talk to you guys about Solana NFTs, because Solana NFTs are really starting to take off. They're becoming much more in volume. There's more transactions being done on Magic Eden than there is on OpenSea right now. And I do strongly believe the next major run in NFTs is going to be taking place on Solana. I've already been buying Solana NFTs. I've accumulated some of the bigger projects in the market already. And I've already been kind of on this trend that we're going to have a major run in the NFT market on Solana. But now we're actually starting to see the volume picking up. We're flipping OpenSea in all of our transactions and the volume and all that stuff. And I think it's very obvious that people are sick of paying $50 to $200 in gas fees. And when guys, I don't know if you've ever done this, but if you're into NFTs and you've ever actually tried to go and mint a really popular project that has a lot of people also trying to mint, normally they sell out in about 10 seconds, and the gas fee just to get that transaction to go through is like $3,000, sometimes $8,000. I've seen it even more than that at times. And so Ethereum sucks. Like, honestly, guys, like, if you're not rich, you don't like using Ethereum. It sucks. I mean, I have good amounts of money, and it still pisses me off that literally every transaction, I have to pay $50 to $200 in a gas fee every time. And not only that, but when the markets start going up and I need to take profits, I also have to pay the damn gas fee. And when the markets are going up, the gas fees are also going up. And so Ethereum really is just garbage. Like, I love Ethereum. It's my biggest position. I've made a lot of money off of it, but it sucks. Like, it genuinely sucks. And when it comes to the NFT market, the average person doesn't have thousands and thousands of dollars to throw at the wall. The average person is trying to get in, start with a little foundation. They're not trying to risk a ton of money. And with Ethereum, it doesn't even give you the opportunity because you're guaranteed to pay a stupid gas fee before you do anything at all. And so for me, that's why I don't really like ETH. I mean, does anybody like ETH aside from the fact we just make money buying the dumb coins on it? No, it sucks. It's literally a piece of crap. It's like using Bitcoin for transactions. It's slow. Why would you use it when you could use like XRP or something, right? I'm not somebody that's a maximalist by any means on one thing. I'm just like, I'm an opportunist. That's what I like. I like to find opportunities and I like to make money. And this is the big opportunity for you guys that are looking for one. So let's talk about some thoughts. If you guys are looking for a good marketplace to look at NFTs, go to magiceden.io. I will link all of this in the description for you guys to find it. Now, this is basically OpenSea for Solana. If you guys are going to trade Solana NFTs, you need to make an account here. You guys can also use OpenSea still. They also have Solana NFTs, but this is kind of becoming more of a bigger platform specifically for Solana. So I would start here personally. If you're looking for a large amount of liquidity, Magic Eden and OpenSea are going to be the moves. Now, this is going to be basically the rundown, but the big things I want you guys to remember are going to be some of these popular collections. Now, these are going to be a little bit more expensive to get in, some of these, but I'm telling you guys right now, the price of Solana is cheap. Some of these NFT projects are going to outperform the price of Solana while Solana is going up in value, and I have a lot of confidence Solana is going to do well by the end of the cycle. So these are going to be stuff that you can get in early now before the big hype sets in, before we've even made a new all-time high. And I'm here to tell you guys that if you watched all of these idiots make all that money off the Bored Ape Yacht Club, you watched all these idiots make all the money off of the crypto punks and, you know, whatever the heck it is, all of these dumb little things that really don't make sense. Now is your chance to get in on some of these dumb little things that don't make sense. I'm telling you right now. Now, first and foremost, the most expensive NFT project to probably get in right now is going to be the OK Bears. OK Bears are most likely going to be the next Bored Ape Yacht Club of Solana. And they look about the same. In fact, they do take some of the major characteristics of the Bored Apes and they just turn them into bears, basically. But I mean, these are going to be a lot more expensive to get in. But if you were able to go back and buy, you know, a Bored Ape or even a Macy, one of the mutant apes, and you were able to buy them for 5 to 6 Ethereum a piece right now, would you go back and do that? Of course you would. Well, that's about what these are valued at now. And so yes, not everybody's got 5 or 6 ETH to throw at the wall, especially with a dumb profile picture, right? I understand that, but for the people that do, I honestly think that this could be the next Bored Ape Yacht Club. Obviously, that's not guaranteed, but we're seeing a ton of influencers getting involved with these. I've seen the price already starting to skyrocket. I've already gotten made profit off of where I bought, and I paid like 30 Solana over the floor price to get a more rare one. So this is one that I believe is going to be a great opportunity for people that are looking to get into a project that has the potential to be the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Even if it's only half of that, these things are still undervalued by a lot. In the last 3 weeks, these have already become the top volume project on Magic Eden, specifically on Solana entirely. And that only happened in 3 weeks. And so I think that this is a good opportunity to get into something. You know, you guys can actually find stuff that's more cheap. If you want to look at this, you can come over here and actually look at the prices low to high. The floor price is obviously 238 Solana, which is going to be like probably somewhere between like $13,000 and $15,000. That would be my guess. But I'm telling you guys, the price of Solana is going to go past new all-time highs, and these are probably going to outperform the value of Solana as that happens. And so it's like buying leveraged Solana, more or less. So this is my thought, guys. I mean, you can come in here, kind of do your own scavenging. There's going to be some good deals. This one's actually $235. So I would just look through these, but this is one that I think can be the Bored Ape Yacht Club of Solana. Now, let's talk about some other stuff. This is one that's recently started to take off in the short term. It is actually up a lot in the last 24 hours, but we're starting to see these dumb lizards taking off. I'm here to tell you guys that honestly, NFTs are silly. It really is going to be something that's highly valuable during the bull run, but when the bear market happens, it's literally going to be like holding leveraged ETH or leveraged Solana, but you're long in a bear market, right? So I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to be out of my NFTs by the end of this bull run. I'm not planning on holding these things through the bear market. I will take my profits, and if I want to buy NFTs, I will buy them in the bear market when they've collapsed in value. I don't think that we should be focusing in on these and getting married to NFTs because they're cool, because they've made us a lot of money. One of the easiest things to do is get access to one of these projects early on, get in at a really good deal, and then it starts rocketing in value, and you never take your profits because you just assume it's going to happen forever. It won't happen forever. All of these are worthless. All of these solve absolutely nothing on the grand scheme of things. It's just a game played by whales to make whales more money. So keep that in mind. But this is going to be another one that I think is going to be taking off. We might get some short-term pullback, but with the market going up, chances are these NFTs are just probably going to keep going up from here. Now, let's talk about another one. These Cats on Crack only has a 7,000 supply, and they're a little bit more expensive than the last one I showed you, but these ones have been having a really good run. And you guys can actually see the charts of these projects if we come over here. So this just looks like continuation. It just looks like a short-term first impulse before we start flying. So, I mean, a lot of these look about the same. A lot of these have only ever finished one impulse. And so, yeah, you know, they're still worth 53 Solana, whatever that is. And yeah, that is a little bit expensive to a lot of people, but for the people that do have the money, I'm telling you guys, Solana NFTs can be good. Now, I'm going to go out and say some other input on this matter. You don't have to follow the ones that I said. You could literally go and do your own research. The thing about this opportunity is NFTs on Solana just barely started to take off for the most part. So if you're actually looking to get into some of these NFTs, do your own research. Go find some of these projects that are almost worth nothing. Go find the ones that actually have somewhat of a tokenomic or a fundamental use case of some degree, more than just the fact that they just launched a couple pictures, right? Look for something where they're actually trying to do something if they're with their project. Just look for that. Whether it's future airdrops planned, whether it's a plan to introduce staking, a token, you know, whatever it is. Look for those sort of things, because you can find these really undervalued NFTs and they're eventually going to turn into, you know, 100 Solana floor or maybe 50 Solana floor or something. But if you're buying them for 1 or 2, who cares? You know, you're going to get your 20x or whatever it is, and it doesn't matter. So just remember that and keep that in mind. Now, I'm sharing with you guys the ones I'm invested in. And the other one I'm invested in is actually the Degenerate Ape Academy. I was lucky enough to get in at the mint for this, and so I've gotten airdrops and I've been kind of part of that community for a while. Now, these are actually the second top volume project on Solana, and they've been around one of the longest periods of time. They're only valued at 55 Solana. There's 10,000 total supply, and this is what they look like. But I mean, this is going to be another one of those OG projects. It's pretty undervalued compared to some of the recent NFTs on Solana that have started taking off, and these were the original ones to take off. They were the first major one to blow up on Solana. So I'm still thinking that these are going to take off. If we come over here and look at the chart of things, we can zoom out here. It just looks like, you know, your average accumulation. Higher highs, higher lows. But now it's pretty much bouncing off of this main trend line. So if you're looking for a time to get in, these things are going to start flying in the same way all of the other ones are. And these ones are actually proven. They already have other collections behind them. You guys can actually come scoop a Degenerate Ape Kindergartner, which is an egg. They haven't even released it yet. So let's wait for these to load. So these are going to be the same price as a Degenerate Ape, but there's only 2,500 supply. So I honestly think these things can take off. There hasn't even been a reveal. What you're buying is one of these funny looking eggs. And with these eggs, they're going to actually have the reveal, and then it's going to be something tied to, you know, the Degenerate Ape Academy as a whole. But these have a really low supply. They're at the same value as the Degenerate Apes, and so I honestly think that these can take off as well. I bought one. I paid 65 Solana for mine, so I'm at a loss right now. But this was planning on just being a hold for me because of the low supply, and I know that this is a reputable project to look out for. Now, you guys can also look for the Degenerate Trash Pandas. These ones are back to about the price that I paid. I paid about 6 for all of mine, but they're now starting to take off again. And this is going to be another one of the projects that's tied to the Degenerate Apes. This is something separate from them, even though they're kind of tied to the same company. There's different sets of leaders kind of running the show over here. But I mean, if you're looking for an undervalued soul project that's already tied to an OG project, this one's pretty undervalued. There's only a 6 Solana floor, so it's pretty cheap compared to the other ones that I've showed you. But it's once again tied to an OG project, where once the OG project does good, these are also going to do good. And when we look at the activity, they've pretty much only gone up from inception. And now they're kind of starting to get to the point where they look like they're just about to start taking off like crazy. So once again, my guess is whatever the Degenerate Apes do, these will be like holding leverage Degenerate Apes. So this chart looks the same as the Degenerate Apes, but it's more parabolic. So I honestly think that these will just do the same. They're going to follow the Degenerate Apes. When the Degenerate Apes do good, Trash Pandas are going to do good. And so that's kind of the way I'm going to be playing these. But it's really undervalued. I see that these could hit probably a 50 to 60 Solana floor for sure, which is like 10x from here. So I honestly think this is another one of those good ones to check out. But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, the 3 that I hold, Degenerate Ape Academy, Degenerate Ape Kindergarten. I own one egg. And then I own some trash pandas as well. And then I own one OK Bear. So that's all that I own when it comes to the Solana NFTs. I've kind of been more picky with things. But if you guys actually have a decent amount of money and you're looking for another project that could be something similar to the Bored Apes, these are actually worth more than OK Bears by about 30 Solana. These are going to be the most expensive project on any of the Solana chains. I think the OK Bears will flip this ultimately. But I mean, these are another one of those projects that I think could ultimately turn out into something big. Our final one on the list today is going to be Solana Monkey Business. Keep in mind, these have actually came down a little bit in price, slightly. But when you hold one of these monkeys, you're actually going to get kind of access to a DAO where you're going to be able to earn interest off of holding this, because inside of their DAO, they will go out, and I've already seen them post about how they've bought a couple McDonald's and some Chick-fil-A's and things like that. And they're using the DAO's money to buy these things, and then they're taking the profit from those businesses to pay back the holders of the DAO. And so this is one of those that has a real fundamental use case around NFTs. They're actually buying real businesses, and they're actually paying their holders in the profits made and generated by the businesses. And so, in my opinion, this is going to be another one of those good ones. The top 3 OG projects on Magic Eden, specifically Solana, are going to be OK Bears, D-Gods, and Solana Monkey Business. You know, you could throw in the other ones down there too somewhere, but for the most part, I think that these 3 are going to be the big ones on Solana, and so that's what I'm going to be paying for the most attention. I actually don't own one of these, but I am going to be looking to buy one of these. When we look at the activity, you know, the chart's at a relatively low point where I believe it's going to bounce. Lots of nice volume coming in here, basically since the middle of March. This big impulse, we saw a lot of new money coming in here. This is going to take off, guys. And I mean, our all-time high is like 500 Solana. There's only 5,000 supply, and you're going to be earning off of holding one of these things. That, to me, is enough reason for me to jump in, at least. So I want you guys to do your own due diligence. Look at the charts. Do your own analysis. Whatever you decide to do is ultimately your own choice. But this is what I'm doing with my money. I see an amazing opportunity inside of the Solana NFT market, with the market of Bitcoin and crypto and the stock market looking ready to bottom. I think that these things are going to see a lot of upside from here. So anyways, guys, if you found value in this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. Join the Discord server, download my free ebook. If you guys want to sign up for my VIP group, follow my trades, links are in the description for that as well. Once again, thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to watching you guys make financial wealth opportunity that can last generations over this bull run. We are very much still in the bull run. We are still very much going to get the bull off top. And if you guys stick to the plan, you will be rewarded for your patience. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.